Gary Kubiak is in his early 60s and loving life. These days, home is about an hour north of Houston with his wife Rhonda on their sprawling 400-acre farm in Plantersville.
You got a routine you go through, don't you?
Now, first off, don't ever think I'm a farmer now. I'm a city boy from the Heights, you know, so that hasn't changed. But you know, I'm kind of learning new things. You know, I took an interest in you know, raising cattle and stuff. I have a brother-in-law who's kind of taught me how to do it. We kind of mess around together. So it's kind of my team out there. So when you leave today, I'll go out there and feed my team. And good thing they don't talk back, so it's awesome, you know. But
you can talk to them, though.
Yeah, there you go. But it's it keeps me busy, you know, responsibilities each day. But yeah, Ron and I are freed up to travel a lot more than we have, and you know, be a bigger part of our kids' lives, and you know, watch them as they go about their work.
Kubiak is wrapping up his second year of retirement from coaching. He says it wasn't easy. It was something he had done and done well for close to 30 years.
Do you miss the grind part of what you went through and all the success you had? Do you miss that sometimes?
Yeah, Randy, I do. You know, it's when you've been so competitive, you know, your whole life, and each week for half of a year, you know, either won a game or you got beaten, you had to come back the next week. So that gets in you.
Stepping away after the COVID season of 2020, he says the time was right. But there's still a lot about the coaching life that he misses, and he always will.
I missed being around the coaches. I missed being around players, having an effect on players' lives. You know, watching a young kid come into the league that I'm sitting there going, man, this guy's gonna be special, and you know, helping him in his growth and becoming a man, becoming a player. I miss that. You know, now I get a lot of gratification from old players coming up and say, Coach, how you doing? And see how well they're doing, and you know, becoming great men and great fathers, great husbands. You know, but yeah, once it's in you, it never leaves. But this place helps me leave it a little bit each day.
Winning a Super Bowl in 2015 with the Broncos was a major milestone for Kubiak, but it was his first head coaching job here in his hometown of Houston that was near and dear to his heart. Leading the Texans, he says, was special.
The majority of my career was in Denver, playing and coaching. You know, I think between those two, I was there 24, 25 years. I'm not quite sure. You know, that doesn't happen nowadays, really, in the business. So I was very fortunate to raise my family kind of in one place. But, you know, really the highlight for me was coming back here, just having a chance. I mean, I knew what I was coming back to. I knew it was a startup organization. It was going to have to learn how to win. It had a lot of work to do if we were going to win. And that old saying, you got to do everything right, and it's still hard, but we had to do everything right. And, you know, the day we beat Cincinnati in that playoff game, and to see that place, you know, I don't think I'll ever forget that day. And I've had some great moments in pro football, but that moment will always stick out. But just as having a chance to come back here as a man, and I was a kid that grew up in this town, you know, with Pastorini and the guys playing and rooting for them. So that was pretty cool, but amazing how time flies. That was a long time ago.
The Texans' new head coach, DeMeco Ryans.
As the Texans begin their new era now with DeMeco Ryans, Kubiak says he couldn't be more proud of the young man he drafted back in '06 out of Alabama.
What did that mean to you to see him up on that stage?
Yeah, it was an interesting year, and DeMeco and I had lunch somewhere off of West Timer. I don't want to advertise, I can't remember. About 2 days before we went to training camp this year. And we went and sat for about an hour and had lunch and just talked about his career. And, you know, he asked me, Kub, when do you know it's time to take one of these jobs, or when do you know it's right, you know? And so we had a great conversation, and I'll be darned, it ends up happening for him this year. So I have such respect for him as a person. I think a lot of us guys tried to get him into coaching. He was a little apprehensive at first, but I think once he got in, his talent's just tremendous. His ability to relate to people, but yet his respect factor that he gets from people as he's doing his job. God, I'm just so happy for the town. You know, it's going to be exciting to watch. We all know he's going to work his tail off. It won't be easy, it never is, but people are going to want to come in here and help him and work hard for him, and it'll be exciting. Looking forward to opening day. I told him, DeMeco, it'll get done. You know, you just keep working. Remember I said that, things will get done. You're going to feel overwhelmed at times. You got to have patience, because when you lose your patience, you think you have to do something too soon or make it happen too soon, you make mistakes. But that's the way he's built. You know, that's the type of person he is. So it's the way he's lived his life. So DeMeco's not going to change. I mean, he's going to have that big smile every day, but yet he has an amazing way of pushing people and players and motivating players. Don't lose sight of that. DeMeco knows how to get after the guys and what needs to be done for them to be successful.
As the Ryans era begins, you can bet Kubiak will be one of his biggest cheerleaders. And if Ryans needs any advice, well, his former coach is just a phone call away.
Gives you the invitation to come watch practice. Are you hopping on the
Well,
highway?
I hope they let me in the gate over there to come see what's going on. Obviously, I'll keep up with him every day. I know his brand of football. I know what he does defensively. I'm looking forward to see what he does offensively. And I'll be as big a fan as anybody else, Randy, to be honest with you. That's what'll be cool, to sit here and turn TV on Sunday morning and see him walking those sidelines, be very proud as well as exciting.